Now here is the same kind of look that I showed you before, but I put in 3 trees. You know, artists will tell you that you have to do 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 instead of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that's what this is. This is what's bringing your eye into it. And I added the birch trees with, of course, steam. I buy that by the box, and put only one little cardinal over here to look over the scenery. Added again this yarn here, because you don't want all your art to look alike. You've got the same idea, but yet it isn't. And this material has a little bit the black with the silver in it, the white with the silver in it, the black with a different kind of silver, and the white with a different kind of silver. So if you were near this, you'd see that it popped. You can see it because in the wintertime, the glistening on the trees is beautiful. So this is just adding to that. This is another rendition of the 2 that you saw before. But in this case, I put one main tree here. I added some limbs going across here, and I just took a light gray material and used my felt tip marker and made my own birch tree here. Added 3 cardinals on this side and a cardinal on this side, and they're bigger than the cardinals you saw on the other one. But I painted, and I use acrylic paints. You're not going to wash this, and if you do, you might have trouble. So just dust it off. So here is white acrylic paint, and sometimes you have to put it on 3 times to make it thicker. So that's what I did in this case. And here's just a tiny little tree down here and a tiny little tree down there. But again, a different look, and adding the birch over here. Okay, here's another pieces of samples that I got at Checkers. The balloons were the samples. So I took 2 different kinds of cloud material. So you'll see one cloud here and another cloud here with a little bit more white in it. And the other was the balloon material. There were 2 pieces of balloon material. And I added these extra on top of it. This was the extra pieces that I found or had. Again, I put the steam in the back of it and placed them in different places. So again, that it would look like a 3D. Balloons are so, if you've never been on a balloon ride, if you ever have a chance, I'm afraid of heights, but I went on a balloon ride. And I saw Jackson in a whole different light. We have a beautiful county, by the way. So I put around here, I put just an off-white grunge. Then I said, well, I'm going to brighten that up a little bit. So I took some plain Kona in the colors of one of these balloons, and then I cut it on the bias and put this all together so it looks like a balloon is still out there flying. So I took more clouds material to finish it all off. So what you're looking at, what your eye is drawn to, is the balloons versus what is around here. This just accentuates the balloons. We all have inspirational fabric. This happens to be a backing fabric. It was 108 inches, but I loved the color. I loved the flowers. So I got a half a yard of it and thought, what are you gonna do with that? So I said, Ricky Timms, to the rescue. So this is my inspiration fabric, taking 4 pieces, and as I took the 4 pieces and cut them, I moved them around so the colors weren't the same. So the yellows weren't going against the yellows, the green wasn't going against the green. So I made this as my background, and then I said, what am I going to put on it? So I decided to put a pink flower, and I'll show you how I do my stuff. Okay, I took these pink fabrics out of my stash, to go for the petals. And I put the steam-a-seam in back of them, like this. Then I took a felt tip marker, and then had my music on, going back and forth, going all the way around, because petals are not perfect. So I went around each one of these in different sizes. Different ones had different sizes. You notice that this one has a little bit of blue, purple on it. This one a brighter pink. So they all work together. So I took the side here.
Cool.
I took the side here and started taking the deeper pink out. You take off the paper, so you take a little bit out this way, go around, and put them about maybe an inch apart of this colors to begin with. Then I took off another color and went around again, around. And so there's 6 different pinks there. Because if you really look at a flower, you're not going to see the same color or how the sun looks at it. Then I took a piece here that I had steam-a-seam around, and I'm going around with it with these beads. Now, it does take a long time to put these beads on, and it's something you can do while you're listening to the radio, to your stereo, or watching television. And I'm using, in this case, it's invisible thread, in, out, and trying to find what's going to make it pop. I added the green border. Then this is the original, going all the way around, and then doing it in binding. And I like the way it turned out. Okay, still going on with the theme of that beautiful, colorful flowers. I used that one 10-inch block of the flower. You can see it right there. A rosy red, yellow, and green. Again, for the background. And here's a bigger piece that you can see it in here. Then I said, what am I going to put on it? I go to my stash and I find this beautiful flowers. It has all the colors that this background has. Then I put this steam-a-seam on it and put these in different positions on the background. I'm lucky enough to have my sit-down long arm, and so I just put them on. Again, you can see that it's 5 on there, and go around them in the pinks and the green threads, and voila, a different view of how you can do the Ricky Tims in the bright colors and using the same background as the one that you saw before. Isn't it look like spring's here or summer? So, in this case, I was inspired by my friend Jane Wilkin gave me a fat quarter of this beautiful flower pattern. In fact, this is almost the whole fat quarter. And this was last Wednesday when she gave it to me. And I said to myself, you've got to stop what you're doing and make another Ricky Tims. So in this case, I went to my black and white stash. I picked up this material. And of course, it's got the black and it's got the white. But I thought, I have a lot of the fabric that has words on it. And I thought this would just add to the beauty of this wall hanging. I finished this, and then I also put around, at that time I found a red in my stash that went with it, and then went around it with this, it kind of looks like the moon upside down. And then I added some black grunge around there, because this was grunge that I used as part of that. And then I went around and I long-armed all of it. And then I added these flowers. And again, I think there should be 7 there. Yep. I don't want to tell you wrong. So then I added the flowers. And one of the things about steam-a-seam is that you can move them. It goes back and forth, you know, until you iron it down, it's not permanent. So I moved them around a little bit, and of course I want to show this side of it, not as much the black side, but I wanted to show what this had done. So this is from the inspiration of my fat quarter from my friend Jane Wilkin. I hope you like that. As you can tell, I make a lot of things that are small, so it's not like I'm making twin-size bed quilts or I'm making a queen-size bed quilts, but I like to do this type of work because it's me, not some pattern. But what's more important that I love to do is give my gifts, like I'm giving you today of how I've done this. And I hope that you give your gifts away too. We are all very, very creative people. We are the artist. You have to keep reminding some people that this fabric art is just as much work, if not more work, than some of the modern art where they just take the paint and throw it on the canvas. We throw our material on the material canvas. And so please give your art away to other people. We are all blessed to have whatever we do and share it with others. Thank you. This book is over 10 years old, and I love it. It's not just this idea that I showed you the way I do it, but there's many other things that you can do to be conversion quilts. And I've got the answers, hopefully, if you've got the questions when this is done.